Hello, gremlins, and welcome to Grim Survival. Yeah, that's never going away. The gremlins thing is just there to stay. I suppose you could actually put it. All right, before I get started, I got to click the button over here so I can read it and get it right. Um, I have to give a couple of shout outs here to the new members of the coffee club. Oh, I got a couple of them. Kevin Grip, I don't remember if I gave you a shout out or not, but hey, Kevin Grip, thank you for joining the coffee club. Kelly Harbrock, thank you for joining the coffee club also. And Red Burning Fires has joined the coffee club. I like that name. That's a good name. So thank you guys for joining the coffee club, supporting my coffee habits, and yeah, just supporting the channel in general. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, so today we're going to be talking about water preps, why you should prep water, how you can prep water, and what to do with water that you have prepped. Water, liquid life, right? Liquid life. I mean, what is it, like 80% your body's made up of water? I got to type it in now because I got to get it right. Um, yeah, that's me typing. Yeah, I typed it. This should be some interesting information. 60% of the human adult body is water. 60%. I said 80, but it's 60. Yeah, I should have typed that in beforehand. But anyway, that's how that worked out. Yeah, so I have some information to show you. A couple of things I'm going to throw up on the screen here while I'm doing this, talking about water preps. Water is, like I said, your body's made up 60% of water. I'm going to type in some more information. I meant to do this first, but I'm going to tell you in a second. So there's an interesting thing going around about dehydration. Here we go. It says, where was it? 75% of all Americans suffer from chronic dehydration. I'm going to go ahead and throw that up on the screen if I can get it over here, just so you can read it with me. Because yeah, I should have prepped this video a little better, but I'll get to it. I really will. Yeah, where's that button? There we go. All right. Yeah. Thanks, commercial. I needed a commercial. All right. 75% of Americans may suffer from chronic dehydration. Seriously. Thanks, Xfinity. We really didn't need you either. Yeah, ads by Google. We know. Last week, we saw an alarming spike in the number of patients admitted for dehydration, fatigue, and heat stroke in hospitals across the Southwest. Now, obviously, this was posted in the summertime. July of 2013. But okay, so that's some outdated information. I just clicked the first link there was. But the numbers haven't really changed much. If you look up the numbers, a lot of Americans suffer from chronic dehydration. Now, why is that? Because a lot of Americans drink way too much soda and not any water at all. I mean, I know several people, family members included, that just they don't drink water. They say, why would you drink that when you could drink soda, when you could drink whatever else they drink? And then I know what you're thinking. Yeah, there's water in soda, right? There's actually not as much as you think. Most of it is syrup that's been diluted with a little bit of water and chemicals that are designed, and you can look this up. Don't take my word for it. Question everything. Chemicals that are designed to keep you from vomiting it back up. Because if you drank the stuff without those chemicals, it would instantly come back out of your body. The reason for this is how much sugar is in it. And I'm just going to try to go off the top of my head. I should have looked this up too, but the reason for the throwing up is there's, like, I believe it's around 100 times more sugar than you should have in your daily intake in one 12-ounce can of soda. So this has caused chronic dehydration throughout most America. I'm not chronically dehydrated. I drink lots of this, and yeah, these are not good to prep. They really aren't, and we'll get into that in a minute. All right, so water preps. Why you should prep water? Obviously, because your body's made up 60% of water, and water is life. It really is. You cannot survive without it. Plants you grow can't survive without it, and your kids can't survive without water. Just keep that in mind. Gremlins, they cannot survive without water. I don't know anything about Gremlins. I really don't. I never seen the show or the movies. I never really did. So anyway, that being said, let's get into the actual topic here. Water. So just saying, stocking water. You need it. You need it for just about everything. You need it for coffee. You need it for just about everything. I mean, you need water. You do. And stocking tap water is bad. And I'm going to show you why you should not ever stockpile tap water. I mean, you can do it if you're just going to be using it for, let's say, flushing toilets, or maybe if you are going to give it to your dog Maybe. And that's even questionable because I don't, I really, depends on your water supply, really. A lot of people on well water, your water's probably way less contaminated than people that live in major cities. But to that effect, let's bring up the water report. This is EGW's tap water database. This is a 2019 update, so this one hasn't been updated yet this year. The updates usually happen around the beginning of the following year. So in the beginning of 2021, we'll get the 2020 update for this. So keep that in mind. This date was available 2012 to 2017. So this, what does this say? Compliance history database for the latest quarter assessment by the U.S. EPA, January 2019 to March 2019. Tap water provided from this water utility was in compliance with federal health-based drinking water standards. I want you to keep that in mind when we bash our government a lot. Let's just do it again. They're in compliance with federal health-based drinking water standards. Contaminants detected. 12 exceeded EGW's health guidelines. 29 total contaminants. Now, in case you're wondering, this is Indianapolis, Indiana's water supply, and I don't live in Indianapolis, but the reason I pull up Indianapolis's water supply is because flows downstream, and anything south of a major city, you're getting it too. I guarantee you're getting it too. So yeah, this serves over 800,000 people. This is just one water utility. There are, I think, 3 or 4 different water utilities in the city of Indianapolis. Don't quote me on that, but something right around there. So contaminants, I'm sure you're wondering, and you can look this up. This is egw.org, their tap water database. You can look this up. So here we go. Here's the contaminants in Indianapolis water supply. Do I need to read it for you? Because I think you can just see it. I mean, I don't even know what all of this is. I can tell you what arsenic is. There's arsenic in the water. Yeah, I can click the details on these, which I'll probably go, oh, look, there's chloroform. So why affect cancer? Also knocks you out, doesn't it? Isn't chloroform designed? You put it over somebody's mouth if you're going to kidnap them? I've seen it in movies. I'm not a kidnapper. I've seen it in movies. Okay, let's just keep on going down. Radium, isn't that like nuclear waste? Something like that? I'm going to click details on radium. Radium is a radioactive element, that causes bone cancer and other cancers. It can occur naturally in groundwater. Really? Radioactive waste can occur naturally in groundwater. I mean, I never studied that in geology. Any geology experts can tell me why the radioactive materials found naturally in groundwater? I'd like to know. And in oil, gas extraction activities such as hydraulic. Yeah, see, they're talking about gas extraction activities. That's where you're getting it from. That's not natural. Is it natural to be pulling gas out of the earth? No, that's not natural. Okay, so their health guidelines say 0.5, whatever, that's probably particles. It's some kind of a measurement or less. And we are at 0.94. The legal limit is 5. That's our government's legal limit, but less than 0.05 is what they recommend. We're above that, but the government says, hey, you're good all the way up to 5.0. Thanks, government. And we wonder why there's so many people getting cancer. Pollutant sources, industry, naturally occurring. That sounds like a bunch of BS to me. Filtering options, reverse osmosis, and ion exchange. I've been looking at Alaska Preppers reverse osmosis systems. I'm really wanting to get one, and hopefully I'll get it in the budget soon so I can, because I really would like to have one. Now, our water does still flow from the natural rivers and stuff in the area, which does still flow downstream from Indianapolis, so it does contaminate groundwater in the area. It contaminates well water. It contaminates everything. I mean, it really does. It gets into everything. It's water. You can't stop it. It goes where it wants. Chloroform, let's check that out. Hey, look, it causes cancer. Go figure. Chloroform is one of the total, I'm not going to try to read that word, TTHMs, is formed when chlorine and other disinfectants are used to treat drinking water. Now, why are they using disinfectants to treat your drinking water? Do you want to be drinking disinfectants? I mean, this is what happens in the chemical treatment plants before they push it out back into the stream and it runs downriver to you. All right. Chloroform and other disinfectant byproducts increase the risk of cancer and may cause problems during pregnancy. We have a lot of sterile people in the world right now. Wow, that's impressive. That's really impressive. Are you reading these charts right here? 0.4 ppb or less is their health guidelines. This utility is at 20.1. They said less than 0.5% there, 0.4, and we are 20.1. National average is 15.1. State average is 11.4. Their health guidelines are still 0.4. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's talk about prepping water now, because you can look this up for your own area. You just simply type in your zip code when you go to the main page there, and you can pull this up. So that's just nasty. That's some nasty water right there. I'm not, yeah. So let's just read this for just really quickly. This is Kroger water brand. Thank you, Kroger, for the water, right? Kroger, you're so good to us. Processed by Advanced Filtration, Ozone, and reverse osmosis technologies. Distributed by the Kroger, Cincinnati. So where did they get this water from? They got it out of their sink. Yeah. Seriously, they got it out of their sink. They put it through some filters, a reverse osmosis system, and then they gave it to us. And it doesn't kill you. It only causes cancer. Oops. I hit the button on the keyboard when I dropped the water bottle. That was impressive. I wonder if I could do that twice. Anyway, this is going to be one of those chaotic kind of videos, isn't it? So water preps, why it's important. Obviously, you need it to survive. How can you prep water? Now, there are a lot of different ways to stack water. Water is heavy. Water is bulky, especially if you have a lot of it, 50-gallon drums, for example. 50 gallons of water is a lot of space. A lot of space. So, yeah. Now, obviously, you could do this the same way you do everything else. Get you some food-grade buckets. You could stack 5-gallon buckets full of water. You really could. There's nothing wrong with that. You could definitely do it. They make specialized containers for this. If you have kids in a household that drinks a lot of milk, save your empty 1-gallon milk jugs. Start filling them up. I really recommend getting a reverse osmosis system. Or, you know, if you can't do the reverse osmosis, you can do the water filters, build your own Berkey system. I have a video on that. I did it a few days ago. It's, you know, you find it, it's not that far away. So just scroll down in the video list and you probably will see it. Otherwise, I will go ahead and link it to the end of this video on that little pop-up that shows up. So you can definitely click it from there. But anyway, that being said, there's lots of different ways to stack water. How much water do you need? Now, it says on average, a person goes through 1 gallon a day on average. So if you have, say, 2 people in your household, that's 2 gallons a day. That's 14 gallons a week. And you can keep doing the math from there. And you can keep doing the math all the way up to 1 year. Do you need a year's supply of water? Why wouldn't you? You need a year's supply of water or food, so why wouldn't you need a year's supply of water? That's the baseline recommendation from most preppers. From the government, they'll tell you 3 to 4 days. I think they've actually upped that to a month now. There's some preppers that'll tell you at least 3 months. Most of us say at least a year, and that's what I say also, at least a year's worth of food. Now, we stack a lot of rice and beans. In my family, we have lots of rice and beans. We have macaroni. We have things that require water for cooking. Require it for cooking. You can't cook rice and beans without water. You can't. It would not be good. That's my phone right next to the microphone. I apologize. Let me mute that. Man, the sound on this thing's just going crazy. I'm dropping stuff on the desk. I'm typing things in. This is just one of those videos, right? I'm premiering this video, so this will be fun in the chat. I'll be called a gremlin again. That's just so funny. Anyway, yeah. Stacking water, stacking it to the rafters. I wouldn't recommend actually stacking water to the rafters. It could very well be too heavy, and it's all going to depend on the weight load of your floor. You could very well break your floor if you're stacking water to the rafters. So for the general population of preppers, we stack water outside of our homes. Now, I'm talking about the big containers of water, which I don't have any, and I'm going to show you a couple of these in just a minute. But stacking these, like I said, I don't really recommend these because they do take up a lot of space, and they're just, you know, this is a 16-ounce bottle. There's more plastic in the container than there is bottles. Costco sells 6-pack of 1-gallon jugs. I don't happen to have one sitting here. They're fairly flat, and you can interchange them and stack them all the way up. And you can stack a lot of water with those just those flat 1 gallon jugs. You can also find them at Kroger, Walmart, and any of your local grocery stores typically sell them. They also sell distilled water there. Now, distilled water has had all of the sediment and nutrients and all the, there's a lot of things in water, nutrients that come in water that are not there. That being said, distilled water is still great for cooking. Great for cooking. You can cook up a storm with distilled water. Also great for making moonshine. Yeah, you got to mix it with corn, and I don't really know the process of making moonshine. I just know you need distilled water, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Anyway, somebody tell me in the comments, am I wrong on that? Don't you need distilled water to make moonshine? I think you do. Anyway, water solutions, how to stack some water. This video is probably going to be running all day. Let me click the button. There's the button. Now, the first thing, and what would be easiest for us, and yeah, those things are expensive. Look at that price. This is a 55-gallon water drum. This is actually Augustin Farms. I believe Alaska Prepper and Prepper Nation have a little thing going back between that company and another. They make these water things now. Obviously, this comes with a pump. This comes with a wrench. A few other of the essential things you're going to need. Now, that's just a hand pump that comes with it. The hand pumps really well. They sell smaller ones. I actually use one for taking kerosene out of a kerosene jug and putting it into a kerosene heater. It keeps things from spilling and causing fires and such things like that. So this would be ideal for most preppers and for most people wanting to stack water. You fill this thing up, you stack it outside, you call it a day. You can fill it with rainwater. You could fill it with a reverse osmosis system if you have some time and some patience, and same thing with the Berkey. The Berkey is going to process about 5 gallons every 8 hours or so. So it would take a while to fill up 55 gallons that way. The most recommended thing you do is build some kind of rainwater catchment system. Now, there's a lot of videos online on how to do this. I've considered making a couple myself just to show you how I would do it. And I can show you emergency ones. You can pipe a gutter. The easiest way is to pipe a gutter from your home, put some screens on the top of that jug, and you let that rainwater flow off of your roof right into it. Make sure you got some pretty tight screens so that it catches most of the debris out of there. That being said, when you're pulling the water back out of there to drink the water, you're going to want to sterilize the water before you drink it. You're going to want to boil the water. You need to get water to a rolling boil for several minutes to make sure anything is out of it. And this is the same if you're going to drink out of a lake, a river, or any kind of a stream. You have to boil that water first because it has bacteria in it that could make you very sick and potentially kill you. So definitely do that. All right. That being said, here's some obvious Google searches. Now, I've actually looked at these several times before, these aqua tankers. This is Walmart, obviously. These are 7-gallon tanks, so 7 times 7, 14, but they're stackable. That's the biggest thing about these. They're very easily stackable. It says BPA free on there, $14 for one, just for one of these things. So you have to do the math, 7 times however many makes 55 to see if it's just as good as a 55-gallon drum. Yeah, I already had that open over there. How did I lose that? All right, here we go. Uline. Steel drums, stainless steel drums, red plastic drums, regular plastic drums. Uline has everything when it comes to having drums. This is a company that specializes in these types of products. You can actually order it from their website, if I remember correctly. Steel drums, yeah. And you usually want to order these by bulk if you have the ability to do so. Now, they come in different sizes, obviously. Some of them have taps built into them. You got 16-gallon, 30-gallon, 55-gallon. All right, so let's talk about winter. A lot of people, like I said, stack their water outdoors. And in certain places, like where I live, that water's going to more than likely freeze. Certain places, like where Alaska Prepper is, that's guaranteed it will freeze. So how do you negate that or thaw that water so you can use it if it's a wintertime? Now, obviously, if you have one of the steel drums I was just showing you, you just build a fire next to it, and that'll take care of it. Otherwise, there are electric pumps or electric heating elements, that you can just shove down in there, set it on top of the ice. It'll melt its way in, and it'll, start melting the water as you go, and you'll be able to scoop it out of there. that's going to be a pain, especially if it's a grid down situation and you don't have the ability to have electricity. So something to power that heating element is going to be necessary, a generator, a solar generator, but then you have to recharge generators or refuel generators. So then you got to think about where I'm getting my fuel from, and so on and so forth. So there are ways to make sure it doesn't freeze to begin with. You can put a little bit of treatment. There's chemicals and stuff. I wouldn't recommend it, but there is. You can put it in there. You're going to have to then probably, you'll probably have to distill the water after you put chemicals in there to keep it from freezing. You really would. So I'm very curious for you guys that live in northern states to let me know how you plan to keep the water thaw or thaw it out in a winter situation where you have outdoor water supplies and you really need to get to it. You really need to use it. How do you plan on thawing that water? Please tell me in the comments, because I would really like to know. And all right, this video is about 20 minutes long, but just before I go, I want to tell you one other thing. The most important reason to me personally why we should always stack and prep water, I mean, this is by far the most important reason of all. I don't think there could be a more important reason than prepping water, and that's this right here. Coffee. All right, gremlins. I like that. This has been James with Grim Survival. That's good. And I'll see you next time.